All right, we can go ahead and get started. A little bit background on Travis Willis project.
Okay. Jump right into the referrals. Okay. Travis is looking to have a parcel that is 1.3 acres, and where 3 acres is required for that zoning district. So that's what the variance is for. I can bring up the, let's see, what do we got? Sketch plan, that one. Let's see. Ooh. Okay.
This is the parcel we talked about last time, right?
Did we talk about this one? I'm
Is,
sorry.
is that the one in Cheshire that had that large lot where they had built a barn first, got the stuff, and then
Go ahead.
tried to turn it residential?
That's a different one.
Oh, okay.
I'll bring this up on Encore, but it looks like this is what he's parceling out, is this odd shaped. 1 second. Yeah, some of the different districts, so like AR2 and AR1, they require 2 acres for each parcel, a minimum of 2 acres. So this is
Kim, can you share your screen so we can see it here too?
I'm sorry, I forgot that.
No, it's all right.
1 second. You see that?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, got it.
Perfect. So let me just go back to the, so this is the area that he wants to clip out, and it's 1.3 acres, where 3 acres is a requirement for there. And then this is what it looks like on Encore. And it is just over 7 acres.
Do we think he's doing that to sell the other lot?
Could be. I honestly don't know. I can see what it says in the application. It may not say, but let's see. With to subdivide the house with 1.33 acres from the larger parcel. The house is to be sold for my grandmother's estate, and I wish to retain all of the ag land for my farming activities. That's what the application says.
Okay, so he just wants to sell the house. He wants to keep the other. So. Okay. That's nice.
So.
But this is to build a house. Oh, no, that's a different one. I'm sorry. Okay, different one. Okay.
Yeah. These are questions that are asked in a variance. You have like 5 questions that you need to answer, the applicant needs to answer, and those are his answers to it.
Okay. I mean, as far as seeing that and the fact that the reason why that he's doing this is because he wants to preserve the surrounding farm. I mean, that's what our goal is to support any farmland. I would say that I would say that we were in favor of the
The variance?
the variance request.
Because it supports the preservation of
Yes.
agricultural.
Yes. All in favor of approving the variance request because it supports preserving agricultural, say aye.
I agree, just because you said it was, how many acres is there? He's removing 1.3 and there's 7.
Correct.
So possibly that makes the other parcel like just below 3, and then 3 if they wanted to divide it again, which hopefully it wouldn't be divided because it's going to stay ag. So they would have to apply for another variance if they wanted to split it in half and sell those 2 lots. I'm just thinking ahead because, he wants to farm it, but what about the future? So if it's under 6 acres left, then there's not 3 equal parcels in the future to split it. If that, or 3 acre parcels in the future to split it, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Let's move on. Next one is on Seneca Point Road. It's a single family dwelling and associated improvements on a vacant parcel in the RR3 zoning district. So let me bring up the site plan. Without a doubt, this is probably, an ag district. One that's getting referred over.
Yeah, it's the RR3.
Now they have steep slopes on this parcel. Really steep slopes. And a
Yeah.
gully. It's not listening to me. There we go. So they're planning on, let me make this a little bigger. So the house will be outside of the steep slope area. They'll have a septic system, a long driveway that requires a pull off there for emergency vehicles to be able to pull off or turn around because the driveway is long enough, and we're gonna have a chicken coop. I'll bring it up on Encore. And I can also check the ag data statement to see if anybody's currently farming. Ag data statement says it is not currently being farmed, but these are active within 500 feet. So probably the organic farm. So let's see it on Encore. And there it is.
Yeah, I would think with the slope, unless they're growing grapes or something, it'd be very limited for any agricultural application.
I don't think that there's anything active there.
No.
I'm trying to. I think I've driven by it, and I don't recall. It might have been just like a hayfield, maybe, but I don't even.
In their ag data statement, they
Yeah.
didn't say there was any active farming there. This is their plan.
I would say that, excuse me, since it's in an agricultural district is why it came to us. But looking at the property, it doesn't appear that it has been in agricultural use. Looks like it was just a vacant lot, and with how steep are the slopes again?
Let me go back. So, I can't. I'm trying to see. Might be a legend here. Let me see if there's something for the colors. Maybe not. I can't read if there's anything. I would assume the red is the steepest, because also if you look at the lines, the contour lines are a little tighter there. I can show that on Encore. So if you go into the layers and you choose the environmental info, you can go down and show maybe. Oh, I didn't click it. I clicked that. So
So it's extremely slow.
yeah, these are what the colors mean. So it's reasonably flat in here, but these are all, there's no farming there.
Yeah. So I would say with it being in an area with a extremely steep slope, that it would prevent. Oh, I have it nice in my head and I can't get it nice out.
It's really not conducive to like crop agriculture.
Yeah. It doesn't have the potential of providing a good enough, piece of land for agricultural because of the steep
Oh,
slope.
large enough.
Or
Large enough.
If somebody wants to help me out, that's this.
The part that's farmed, that looks, you're saying that's the flat part, like that's the pale pink, that's a very gentle slope?
It's not being farmed. It's just in an agricultural district, which is why it came to us. It's just a vacant lot.
Okay.
So you're saying steep slopes prevent an adequate sized parcel for farming?
Yeah, that might be good terminology for the justification.
How big are those flat areas where you would actually have?
So this
think
is a moderate slope here.
Right. I think
10
it'd
to
still be
15.
pretty dicey to get in and out of there, because if you look at, you still got some over here, like on the edge, too.
So this is where they're putting most of their house and all of that stuff is in pretty much the flattest spot that they have there. So
Are you able to do select the type of area that would show if it were to be farmed, really how much acreage is there? I think I remember you doing that.
yeah. I see what you want me to do the tools. Yeah. And so we can pick area.
Hi, bud.
Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hanging in there.
It's just going to be a rough approximation. these, if you ever wanna use them, they're all within Encore. All I did was click the tools tab up there.
Yeah, that's a pretty neat feature.
So,
5 acres.
yeah.
The proposed project is putting a house, it's not farmed, it's just in an agricultural district. They wanna put a house down in the flat part. Everything that we shaded out is, theoretically, like, if somebody wanted to, that's where they could go, but still it's so steep, even, it's, on the edge, it's extremely steep, and then up at the top, it's like a moderately steep slope.
So it is currently vacant.
Yes.
And not farmed.
Was it ever farmed before?
Their ag data statement says that it isn't currently being farmed. It doesn't have historical information. But they are within 500 feet of this person and Wegmans, which I assume is the organic farm.
So with that information, I was going to say that it's not adequately sized parcel because of the steep slopes. So, meaning that we're,
It wouldn't represent a loss of current farmland.
and just the justification because of the steep slopes, because, I mean, you wouldn't want to bring a tractor down there.
Can I just see the Google map again?
Sure.
So that, I asked if Kim would just block out, like, the steep slopes around it and just to see how much of land, so the entire yellow is the entire property, what she blocked out in blue is what it's,
I just went by the tree line, so
Yeah.
I assumed the tree line was probably
That's-
the
I would think
The-
so
the
as
steep-
well.
steep area. So that was an assumption on my part, but
So what's in blue is about 5 acres.
Yes.
Okay. Just one comment from here. It does look like that parcel was farmed because it looks like it's grass right now from that shot. If it hasn't been recently farmed, though, it wouldn't change the statement that it would represent a loss of current farmland.
So we can just clean up our statement a little bit, that we believe that it's not a loss of current farmland. And that providing the reasons of the slope. Right?
I feel like the slope doesn't really have much to do with it because the part that could be farmed is not on a slope.
Mm.
Like the wooded area looked red and then the land was that pale yellow, which only said very slight, right?
just a second, I'll click that. Oh, pretty good guess on my part.
Yeah. But there's still some, it's not,
It's just,
there's still a moderate slope, but it's not.
Still, looks like it still could potentially be farmed.
Yeah, it's a loss of potential farmland, but not current farmland. But it's also a 5 acre parcel, so I don't know very many farmers that want to pick up just a 5 acre parcel unless it's very close to a big farm.
so I have a
square
question. Do you try and stay away from, like, turning over a lot of soil and stuff? Cause this is a gully and this will actually, there's a stream there that goes right to the lake. So would that be a concern at all? Like erosion, washing?
What is there, so there's a gully wash area through the field?
This is a gully down here.
Okay, there's, well, it looks like there's enough of a woodland buffer there,
Yeah,
so it looks,
okay.
to me, that looks like plenty of buffer between the field and the creek. For, potentially farming it again.
Okay,
But I'm all right with the statement. It doesn't represent a loss of current farmland, but for the record, I would be curious of deeper history of the parcel.
So not current but potential.
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor that it's not a loss of current farmland but of potential farmland, say aye.
Aye.
I
I
okay.
because what I would love to see is a history of when was it farmed last? Was it farmed just last year, or was it not farmed in 20 years? And if so, who was the producer that farmed it? What are their feelings? What's the property owner's feelings? All that. Sometimes I just wish we were presented with a little more information.
Some people may not have it to give. I mean, I know a little bit about my property, but that's because it was the Brockle Banks, and I got to talk to JR and Rita when we were looking at the house. And so they told me about the sheep farm and all that, but most people don't get that information. So, alrighty. But yes, I agree with you. The historical would be nice. Encore does have some things if you're ever interested in, let me see, getting her.
Aye, honey.
Let me just go to someplace else. Let's copy that. I'll show you. Well, you can get the soil analysis. They sometimes do have some other information. If you're ever curious. I just picked one next door so I could click on something else. So if you go here, you can look at the owner deed. Sometimes that might have some historical information because it does go back quite a ways. Maybe this one doesn't, but there are some properties where you'll see like a number of things listed and you can like look up the information. Sometimes there'll be, oh, there's the ownership history. That was what I was looking for. So you might be able to recognize a name maybe at some point. It looks like Middlebrook was an owner into the 80s. But there are some other things. Sometimes there's photos here and different survey maps you can look at. That might give you some information that's historic. Other than that, I don't know how you would find out more. All right, let's see. That was that one, right? Okay. Now this one, they are looking to build a single-family home and on a vacant parcel. And I'm sure this one is another ag district one. But they are also looking at adding a barn, if I'm remembering this one correctly.
Yes, this was what they're gonna hit the flower farm.
Yeah, they're looking, and this barn will be added through an ag building. There's a barn, and they're looking to have a flower farm here. And
It looked like it was close to the lake, right?
yes, they actually had a picture up here, and I can go find this one on Encore for you.
A flower farm,
A flower farm. That was shared. So the barn isn't it's on the site plan, but it's not actually part of the approval process with the house, because ag structures are done differently.
Okay.
They kind of bypass the planning and they go right to the building side of things, the building permit, and then they work with the code enforcement guys for all their approvals there. So
That-
this is the property.
That lot is close enough to the lake that I feel like that's what we deemed to be residential areas, like the development that's right next to it. If they were going to build, that's where they would build. During that meeting that we had where we filled in those maps with colors.
I think that was the future land use workshop.
Yeah. Yep. So I could see it definitely being a loss of forested area, trees, and all of that. But unfortunately, it is in the spot where they're going to develop those larger lot with homes on them next to the lake.
So it's just one house and then a business? I mean,
Yeah.
it
So-
prevents from 20 houses going there.
Yeah, I wonder where they're gonna put that one house and business.
It's a continuation off of the road, it looks like.
The barn and the house, I wonder where it's going.
Let me see if I can see.
Because it looks like, so,
Down in here, because
Well-
this jig jog is. Isn't this jig jog here?
yes, but like the driveway starts where that road ends in the subdivision lot.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just a continuation off of that road, and instead of having 20 houses being built there, there's only gonna be one, and they're having flowers, so it provides, think about all of the bees that are gonna be going through, and the opportunity of the pollinations, and
I think it would fall into the horticulture category, but still the broader spectrum of agriculture. So I can view that as a positive thing. I'm curious where they're gonna be growing these flowers, because that lot to me looks like it's wooded, and then looks like there's some vacant farmland that's just grown up to grass and shrubs. So I wonder if they're gonna be clearing some of that to have flower fields, or what their plan is.
Could you do the slope map on it too?
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you. I feel like a lot of the land over there is
You
On
are
an angle.
correct.
Looks like the property's more wooded to this side of the property over here, and more kind of grassy and scrubby on this side.
yeah.
Your gray and your yellow are pretty flat. So, yeah, but these are all very, very steep, because again, you have another stream running through a gully, it looks like here. So,
That's a pretty big lot,
it
78
is,
acres.
it is a pretty big lot.
So I'm just curious if they're gonna manage the woods there, if, how big their operation is gonna be. Just curious, because I don't really know of many flower farms.
there's quite a few.
Interesting.
So how would we want to word it, saying how it could provide a potential agricultural loss, but based on the amount of land there. However, it's
Would actually represent
a gain in horticultural, as well as a gain in not 20 houses being built instead of one house.
More preservation
Yeah.
of open space.
Yeah. Let's,
Can you get me?
yeah,
I got you.
gotta condense the statement. Yeah. So this particular referral, if it is approved, would actually benefit local agriculture, or I could say local horticulture, but specifically falls into the category of agriculture. I'll give you a second. I can condense that further.
I'm probably gonna mispronounce your name.
Green. While this referral represents a loss of farmland, it does represent a gain in horticulture and a preservation of open space.
That's what she's here. She's to help us also condense.
I would say it's a minor loss of.
A minor loss of farmland?
Oh, but then again, it's technically vacant.
But how many acres was it?
78, I think
It's
it's
just-
that.
78 acres.
And how many acres again is the barn and the house and roads gonna take up?
Probably, well, compared to 78, not much.
It's preserving.
I'll show you, let's see.
Yep.
So here's that little odd shape, spot on the map. So they're going to be down in this area.
So it's keeping the rest of it wooded. It's keeping and then adding wherever they're putting the flower fields.
In the grand scheme of things, that's a positive.
Yes, especially with it being along Westlake or along the lake.
Some people have been doing different silviculture things where you're like growing mushrooms, and so there is a potential for more agriculture that would be lightly touching some of this other area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're interested in that, but
Yeah, I don't know a lot about mushrooms, but I know that there is silvopasture, which is like you have, livestock grazing in areas that are partially wooded, and there's like openings of pasture. So I don't know if
Well,
you're gonna have any livestock. But
yeah, things like mushrooms and stuff would be part of like forest farming. So you use the forest habitat, and you can, add, fruiting trees in there, and you can do mushrooms and all sorts of stuff. So there is actually a lot of potential for them to do more than just flowers if they wanted.
Wonder if there's any maple trees there.
Could be maple trees.
Alright. I'd say we go with Corinne's statement, or her nice sum up of our statements. All in favor of that shortened statement, say aye.
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 Perfect.
Cool. I like today. We've had two that you missed out on. I'll tell you about it after we get the next one.
And then we have one that they're looking at building a new landscaping and hardscaping facility on Brickyard Road. I know there's some farm fields over that way, so I will promote this one.
Could say loss of potential farmland.
For the
Yeah.
previous one?
Yeah, that's another good word. Potential, but is actually a positive in the grand scheme of things because it supports an agricultural business of what they're trying to do with the rest of the property. And their buildings are going to be for their agricultural business.
So this is where they're looking at putting in the landscaping business. And I will go to,
Is that the same spot that came like a couple years ago, right on the corner of Brickyard and Airport Road?
we did see another one I believe the person's name is Smook. I think.
Brian Snook?
I think that was a different
Yeah,
business.
he does have property down there.
So let me go to right here. I'll bring it up for you. I think that's a separate business.
Cause I haven't seen them do anything there.
So this is Jake's Landscaping and Hardscapes. Yeah, I believe they've gotten some extensions from the planning board,
Okay.
if I'm recalling correctly, and I think they on Airport Road, I
Yeah.
think. So that's this place.
Is that right across the street from Mercy Flight?
What is that?
Diagonal from Mercy
Yeah.
Flight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Which I believe that particular parcel is in the industrial area.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah, type is vacant industrial.
So it would pain me if they, clear any of the woods there, but however, it is in the industrial zone. So that's, if you're gonna have an industrial type business or any other type of, similar property like that, that's the place for it, in the industrial zone.
And so this is their plan. And that's like the building, and then this would be gravel or paved. I'm not sure, I can't remember what it says. It's hard to read.
It says proposed concrete, proposed gravel driveway and parking area.
Okay,
They have drains, biofilter was 63 or 65.
so this whole parcel is actually on Encore. Encore lists it as silver maple ash swamp, which is actually a rare habitat.
Really?
And swampy. So, just for your knowledge.
So that would be a comment that would probably especially interest the environmental board.
We reviewed this one. That's why I know.
Gotcha.
So, I can look what they have on their ag statement. Space. So if you're ever looking for the ag data, if you click on the application, it's all listed with their other application information. Now they list Randall. I'm not sure who that is, but they have an active farm operation located within 500 feet. But it is not currently being farmed.
Trying to think if I know that name, Randall. Sounds familiar. Randall.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, it seems to me that this project, it looks like it's, how many acres of that lot is that supposed to take up?
The lot is 3 acres, and let's see what it looks like it's
Just the front part.
front part. Let me,
So potential to leave a lot of the woods in the back.
so less than half, so maybe about a third, and maybe about 2/3. So, are you
Is this one of those where we could just do like a recommendation saying, like try to keep as much of the trees as possible, etc.?
You could.
Okay.
You can say whatever you like.
Yeah, it,
Just because of the rarity of,
the rarity of the, you said maple,
Silver maple
silver maple,
ash swamp.
silver maple, silver maple ash swamp.
Is it wetland at all?
I can tell you.
I would think so if it's considered swamp.
So,
Yeah.
uh,
If any little bit of it is.
let's see. Environmental, and then we can click the national wetland, the DEC wetlands, and then
Which
DEC
is that?
oh, this is the back
information.
corner.
So does that
So it looks like,
does that mean they wouldn't be able to build in the blue area then?
yeah.
And I believe there is a setback from wetland areas as well.
100 foot. Right.
I think it is 100-foot buffer.
So
So some of it's protected anyways, which is good.
So they would have to go through the DEC jurisdictional determination. So they would like comment on if there's wetlands, where the wetlands are, and that all applies to where they could build and can't build. So that's part of the whole process that they would go through.
Well, so this project, let's create our wording, you know, from a agricultural standpoint, looks like it's not going to be a big loss of, you know, agricultural land. And it would be a minor loss of woodland if, you know, it just, you know, if they,
So, from an agricultural perspective, it's not a loss to any potential current agricultural land. However, we do recommend for them to take in mind of the woodland, with the rarity of it, to at least,
consider protecting the area that's
Yeah.
the silver maple ash swamp.
Mhm.
Okay, I like that.
Perfect.
Nice.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Okay.
And you are done with referrals.
So for the first one, it was Travis Willey's project on Benell Road. What he was planning on doing is actually, it's a 7-acre lot that he has a house, vacant land on one side, vacant land on the other. He wants to subdivide the house from it and include that in, so my guess is that he's going to be selling the house, but he wants to keep the farm land for his own personal, like, hobby farm.
Okay.
So, the goal, instead of selling it as a whole 7-acre lot and then someday probably subdividing it and putting another house there, he wants to preserve the farmland around it.
That's admirable.
So, we've had two today's opportunities to preserve agriculture, which is nice.
Good to hear.
And then the other one was, which one was this?
Pacific Way Road was the second one you did.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he came in.
you
for that
came in
one.
on that one, yeah.
So you just missed Travis Willey's project.
What did we think of that?
We voted in favor of the subdivision and then allowing the, because also with it being a certain less acreage, it provides, what was that? It provides like a less potential of,
The Seneca Point Road,
no, Travis Willey's project
Travis Woolley.
with the,
It's
towards preserving agriculture, though you have that small acre where the house is on. So
Danielle, do you remember your comment on that? Because you mentioned something about the two other.
Yeah.
sides.
So it's 7 acre parcel. If they take away 1 point whatever it was, that makes the remaining less than 6 acres. So since you have to have 3 acres to divide, they would have to apply again for, special use or variance, whatever. So it technically shouldn't be divided again since it needs to be 3 acre parcel and it'll be less than 6 acres. If that makes sense.
Because this was for a variance, because there's a 3 acre minimum in this zoning district for a parcel of land. And so he's asking for that one to be smaller than what's required.
Okay.
So he can keep the rest of it in agriculture.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
I don't have anything else to add unless.
Well, I actually just thought of
Yeah.
something. Just a quick, well, an extra comment for the referral on Brickyard Road. The referral on Brickyard Road, the business who wants to build there. The industrial zone, just want to mention that is a good place for a business to be because it takes the pressure off the other areas, especially like the agricultural areas and the, outside of that area. So if the industrial zone is a good place for a business to be. While it is a good place for a business to be, I would appreciate that business protecting part of that silver maple ash wetland ecosystem.
There you go. I know that Tim you did go to the New York Kitchen
Event, yeah,
How was that? Like,
it was good.
had a good turnout?
Yeah, well, there's lots of people there.
So maybe it's something that we plan on doing next year, of actually getting a table and, if you wanna have that conversation with Jake to see how we can,
Mhm.
that would be great.
Noted. Yeah, there's lots of vendors with honey, maple syrup. There, Jacob was there with a CCE booth. There was a couple, beef producers. There was, I think that one booth had apples because there was an advertisement for, New York apples. I wasn't there for very long, but I just wanted to show up and see what was going on and then head on back to work, But one note though that was really cool, the Mobile Dairy Experience trailer was there.
Hmm.
So that's it's a van trailer that's hauled by a semi truck, and it goes across the whole state to events. It's a big trailer that when you walk in, it has information, displays, pictures of dairy farm operations. It's an educational trailer. You walk in and lots of details about dairy farming, sustainability and nutrition and all those topics. So that was cool. I've seen that before. was cool that it was there for that event. Yeah, Mobile Dairy Experience Trailer.
Very nice.
I don't have anything else to talk about unless you have something to give. I'm assuming that they're going
Thinking.
through with.
Oh, the fireworks? Yeah. Yep. I mean, you know, I could say the current regime at the town is proposing, you know, to reimburse us for any losses we sustain because of the fireworks, which I can appreciate that, you know. But I still am leery of the amount of people that are going to show up to the event and the fact that it's still going to be an inconvenience and a hassle. So, yeah.
I guess we will say that was, unless Alan or Danielle, do you have any other topics that you want to discuss for like open discussion, or good to close?
Nothing from me.
Nothing from me either. Nothing on my mind.
I did have one small thing. I went to training in Batavia 2-3 weeks back, and they had a session which was on protecting agricultural lands. And in the town of Henrietta, they had an interesting way that they had kind of approached the whole, we've talked about it before, the TDR.
Oh,
So they basically have the developers pay for like a PDR sort of thing of farmland that's adjacent to a development that they want to, like, you know, add more houses in or whatever, do like a clustered subdivision. So I thought that was an interesting way to do it. So I thought I would mention that.
Cool.
And
Is there a way to see, does it come to us when places want to establish a PDR on their property? Like, are we notified to, I don't know, celebrate it or talk about it?
There was one, was it a year or more ago now? It was on Farmington Town Line Road.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Brocklebanks?
Correct.
Yes.
And they basically needed support for the land trust. So this committee wrote a memo in support of it. The ECB wrote a memo in support of it. And so that went to the town board. And I believe they also did whatever they need to do to support that. I believe they have to do some resolution to support that for the land trusts. But yes, that sort of stuff traditionally comes here for you to review, comment on, and if you support it, create a memo.
alright, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
A second.